Hello and welcome to this Warcraft replay. This is going to be just the best of one from the PGL of very late last year. It's already April and I haven't casted in like 2 weeks. I do apologize. That is actually my fault. It's near the end of it's near a break, so that's generally when it gets the busiest. Lots of assignments, lots of exams or tests. It hasn't been exams just yet. So yeah, it's settling down a little bit. I got 2 more this week, but hopefully I can get obviously more videos down. So yeah, undead versus human matchup here. We have Lucifer spawning in as the grey undead player in the top left. I don't think I've casted a player playing grey before. If so, it's been very little. And yeah, Infi will be spawning in as the teal human player in the top right. Pretty standard start so far. Nothing too wacky is going on. Ted Fiends for Lucifer. And so far that's all I can say really. I mean, Lucifer barely does anything unorthodox. He's been... I guess he sometimes school opens, he sometimes goes for a graveyard first, but... yeah, like most undead players, he would just go for this opening. So Death Knight versus Archmage. Very standard matchup here. Of course, standard means... well, standard means it all just depends on how each player will play, honestly. We'll have to see if Infi will choose to go for an early expand, or if he just goes for maybe tier 2 and be a little more aggressive early on, but I imagine he's just going to go for that early expand into potential oh yikes, Lucifer nearly losing himself an acolyte there. Cheeky little footman, but he might actually lose that acolyte. Oh, he loses it regardless, not to the footman but to the Ogre Magi camp. So Infi's actually going to start out with this green creep camp. I guess he's scared of a roaming Death Knight, but I very hardly see how much threat this guy can actually do. And here we go, Lucifer discovering Infi is not going for the more dangerous mercenary camp start. But it might just as well be a mercenary camp early on, I guess. I don't know. And the Death Knight just doing nothing once again. I do see very little that this Death Knight can do with his Rod Necromancy. I mean, sometimes he might be able to pick up a gem or two, but it's like 80% he will get nothing. And the Death Coil is rather late, and he will not be able to pick up the Talisman of Evasion either. Death Coil is gonna pick up the Tunneler? No, he is not. So he loses yet again another kill. Oh, Infi is going for denials as well, so still no experience for this poor Death Knight, and well, he's tossed out about 2 Death Coils already and unable to find any fruit. Not that great. It's like incredibly good for Infi. He's only lost himself 1 peasant during that exchange. Normally, Death Knights will tend to pick up 2 or 3 as they retreat back home, but yeah, Lucifer he's just not lucky this time. He could potentially get himself a steal on the Magi here, but switch focus, and well, the Death Knight is in a pretty bad spot right now. He's getting chunked quite a bit. Archmage is still getting a couple of free hits down. And he is around 30 health. Is definitely not safe to stick around, and he should get out of there, as the Magi will indeed go over to Infi, giving level 3 to the Archmage, and +6 claws of attack gets picked up. Death Knight still without any experience, and he's already used all of his charges right now. It's not looking good for Lucifer, and early expand gets placed down. Hopefully he might be able to pressure this expand enough to, I guess, kind of catch up, but he's severely behind as of now. I mean, of course, he didn't get harassed at all. He's freely gone to tier 2, but I mean the Death Knight's very low health. He still has no experience whatsoever, so he's not going to be that much of an impact late game. And Infi is still farming out. He's already reached a halfway point for level 3. Yeah, this is looking rather grim for our undead player, and Infi's already going for tier 2. Really early tier 2 in fact. Normally players would wait a little bit, saturate the second gold mine and then go tier 2, but Infi, I guess he's playing really well this game, and he is rather confident and not relying on too many towers. He doesn't have an arcane vault nor a blacksmith just yet, so he is focusing on that early tier 2 rather than those supplementary buildings. And a scout skeleton will get picked off. Not enough experience for level 4, but every little bit helps. Booster speed gets picked up by the Archmage, selling the Talisman of Evasion. Meanwhile, the Death Knight gets himself level 2 finally. It's been 6 minutes and he's only got himself a circlet. He also got himself an early Lich, transitioning to tier 3. Most likely it's going to be Mass Destroyers here. It's alright. I think Undead... Actually, Reddit's been talking a lot about the viability of Undead in pro play recently, and yeah, Undead has very little options to go for against like pretty much any matchup, really. Especially human, who is rather dominant. So yeah, Lucifer's just doing what he's been doing for years. It probably won't work. I'm just gonna say this now. I mean, he's so far behind, and like all the factors are favoring Infi so far. Scroll of the Beast gets picked up. I guess it'll be kept. Infi is valuing that particular item right now. Oh, he's going for a little bit of a fight here. Triple elementals, probably not a force that Lucifer would like to go up against. Not until his destroyers are in the air, but sadly tier 3 has yet to finish. But yeah, once destroyers come in, I imagine the Archmage would go retrain into Blizzard maybe. That is the one thing humans have a rather difficult time against Undead. It's that destroyers will eat up these key water elementals. I mean, they tank a lot, sure, but yeah, just giving mana to destroyers for free is just not that great. Frost Nova to deal a little bit of burst, and the elemental does fall. Doesn't give that much experience, obviously, as it is a summoned unit, so I think it gives like 80% of its full experience. It might be less, actually, I don't remember. Lich gets tier 2, not tier 2, level 2, but I don't know what ability it's gonna be. It's most likely Dark Ritual. Humans don't usually have many units that actually force him to, I guess, go for Frost Armor. And here we go, Infi's going for some elemental harassing, able to get possibly one Acolyte down, but the Death Coil will come in and kill him straight up. But this is still a rather difficult force for Lucifer to actually deal with. Thankfully he is making a couple more Spirit Towers, and yeah, this will basically make any future attempts fail, I guess. Scroll of Healing gets popped by Infi, and he will pick up the, I believe it was Gloves of Haste. So, yeah, he took Lucifer's Ogre Magi camp. He's starving his opponent right now. And we hear the destroyers popping up right now. Lucifer, one destroyer and two statues. We have a fourth statue on the way, but yeah, it can't actually turn into a destroyer as Lucifer is kind of supply blocked. And he is gonna lose himself a statue. Oh dear, this is a difficult position for Lucifer to be in because he is now being attacked while he is going for the siege, and this is not a good siege for him. He doesn't have any units that can actually deal with those towers well. Of course destroyers maybe, but there's so many towers, they're gonna run out of mana eventually, and of course it's the second base versus the primary base. This is not a good trade. Lucifer could potentially lose himself the Black Citadel. I'm very certain he's gonna TV scroll earlier than later, hopefully. It's not a good idea to burn your TP scroll as soon as you lose your Black Citadel, and there we go. Lots of towers taken down. I don't think we had a single peasant fall, and yeah, trade of TPs here. You can see all those peasants very low, but yeah, we don't see any corpses on the ground, so that's probably not too it's not too disastrous for Infi. Meanwhile, I have like some green blood around, so it's most likely a couple of Crypt Fiends down. Not good for our undead player. And of course he didn't do that much damage, he just took down like a couple of towers and that's it. Meanwhile back at Lucifer's, Timberwells got taken down. I don't think a Ziggurat got taken down. But regardless, a lot of damage onto the Black Citadel. That's, yeah, it's quite a bit of resources to spend in repairing it. Here comes Infi with another attack again. We can see a lot of peasants actually moving away from that expand as, well, the death rates are pretty high in this particular town, so they are moving out. Infi going for another attack once again. He doesn't have that great of an army to actually siege with either, so yeah, I don't know how much damage he will deal. Infi might lose himself at a keep or a town hall. I mean, Lucifer's been smashing away at this for quite some time now. We have a lot of flying machines being queued up here, so that is going to be the answer to deal with those destroyers. Where are those destroyers? Actually, I have no idea where the destroyers are. Dark Ranger coming out as the third hero for the undead army. And Infi's Archmage did TP back home. I have no idea where the destroyers are. Why are the destroyers over there? I guess they were trying to defend against Infi's attack, but yeah, TPing really sent him a wild goose chase there. Stormbolt onto the Mountain King. Actually, it's gonna be a Nova Coil combo there, and that was very quick. I was very surprised that the Mountain King took that much damage, but that might actually turn things around a little bit. Of course, if Lucifer actually runs away with no casualties, he would be looking rather good, but things are looking rather grim right now. We have a couple of knights, in fact, or just one knight actually. Never mind. We have a lot of elementals still. After killing all of those destroyers, the green light has been lit for the Archmage to toss down all of his elementals there. So far, it's pretty mixed, I guess. Lots of flying machines taken down for Infi, but Lucifer he's still at a disadvantage, really. I mean, he's playing undead, let's be honest here. You can see that flying machine is actually eating a lot of damage, and that damage could have been very much used on someone else. Stormbolt once again onto the Death Knight, and that could potentially be a TP scroll force there, and it will indeed. Holy Light able to kill one of those Crypt Fiends, and the Lich very close to death there. I believe the Mountain King was about to toss his hammer, but yep, lucky TP. Sadly, it's not a good position for Lucius to be in because undeads have a very hard time healing up. Of course, aside from the fact that the Death Knight can Death Coil, the Death Knight cannot Death Coil himself, so he'll have to rely on the Unholy Aura. which is not great. Army supply of 40 versus an army supply of 57. You can see without Lucifer losing any heroes, he's still at a pretty crap position, honestly. He lost himself all of his destroyers, so that was pretty much the bulk of his food. And he has yet to replenish his glorious numbers just yet. Yeah, I don't know about that. Infi castle, obviously. We have more flying machines being queued up here. Plus 1 upgrades for those footmen and knights. Oh, plus 2 actually. Okay, never mind. It's been a while since I casted Warcraft, so hopefully you guys can give me some slack there. Animal war training has been researched for these knights as well. As you can see, they have a couple more 100 hit points available to them. Level 2 onto the Mountain King and Paladin. So level 2 is not that great for the Mountain King, but for the Paladin it's really good news, because that allows him to Divine Shield whenever he is able to, and that will very much render the Nova Coil combo useless against him, at least. The Mountain King might be a little different, but that's why he has the Pair of the Vitality instead of the Pally. So yeah, it's all good. Lucifer is actually going to go for an expand, so this is another way he could try to catch up with his opponent, but the question is, will he live long enough for that to happen, because Infi is now on the offensive. And with 2-0 knights, with the number of 3, that might be a rather difficult front line to actually break through with just Crypt Fiends. Sadly no A-bombs, so that is rather troubling for our undead player. Nova Coil onto one of those knights. Ivory towers are being placed down. Actually, it's just Nova being tossed down. Death Coils are being used to heal up those vital units. We have a couple of Crypt Fiends already falling so far, and Lucifer is just going for those quick and easy footman kills rather than actually focusing on Knight. Knight is going to be sanctuaried back home. That is a rather demoralizing sight to behold for Lucifer, as he doesn't have any sort of staff that he can use to return his units. So there we go. No destroyers just yet. I'm surprised we haven't seen any destroyers just yet pop up for Lucifer. I mean, the flying machines are down, but these statues aren't just turning. I guess the healing and mana is more important than having destroyers, but they are being focused down. Triple water elementals are definitely pulling their weight compared to just 2 statues. I think the statues should have turned into destroyers just to get rid of these elementals there, but alas, it was for naught, as the flying machines once again come out with their land bombs, and they are going to win this fight. GG from Lucifer. That was really shaky commentary, I admit, but I am kind of out of practice. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I don't know when the next video will be out, but yeah, just hope. Anyway, take care.